सर्वस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः, व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Should. Mantra number 8 and 9 we'll just chant and study from 10th. अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः, अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः, स्वयं धीराः पण्डितं मन्यमानाः, स्वयं धीराः पण्डितं मन्यमानाः, दन्ध्रम्यमा अजङ्घन्यमानाः पर्यन्ति मूढाः, जङ्घन्यमानाः पर्यन्ति मूढाः, अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः, अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः, अविद्यायां बहुधा वर्तमानाः, अविद्यायां बहुधा वर्तमानाः, वयं कृतार्था इत्यभिमन्यन्ति बालाः, वयं कृतार्था इत्यभिमन्यन्ति बालाः, यत्कर्मिणो न प्रवेदयन्ति रागात्, यत्कर्मिणो न प्रवेदयन्ति रागात्, तेनातुरा क्षीणलोकाश्च्यवन्ते, तेनातुरा क्षीणलोकाश्च्यवन्ते। क्षीणलोकाश्च्यवन्ते, same point. Means once the punya is exhausted, they fall from that loka to this loka or another loka. The same point is continued further. And who are these people? These are the people who are avidyayam antare vartamana. They are bahudha vartamana. Vayam dhiraha pramudhaha. We have seen all this. And teacher continues the same point in the next mantra, number 10. Look at the mantra number 10. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtam. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtam. Nanyachreyo vedayante pramudhaha. Nanyachreyo vedayante pramudhaha. Nakasya prushte te sukritenu bhutva. Nakasya prushte te sukritenu bhutva. Imam lokam heenataram bhavishanti. Imam lokam heenataram bhavishanti. Again. Ishtapurte manyamana varishtam. Nanyachreyo vedayante pramudhaha. Nanyachreyo vedayante pramudhaha. Nakasya prushte te sukritenu bhutva. Nakasya prushte te sukritenu bhutva. Imam lokam heenataram bhavishanti. Imam lokam heenataram bhavishanti. See this mantra, the translation. Manyamanaha. They consider this. They believe that. They think that. Or that is their considered opinion. Okay? What they consider varishtham manyamanaha. This is the ultimate. This is the final thing, you know. This is the best thing to be done. This is the most exalted. This is most exalted, that is their considered opinion. This is most the thing to be done, that is their belief. This is to be done, that is their vision of life or vision about the goal. Acha, and not only that, this is the exalted, or this is the thing to be done, or this is the best thing, or this is our vision of life, but then just nanyat shreyaha vedayante. There is no other shreya, means for moksha other than this. This is the goal. Everything else is not the ultimate thing. Everything else cannot be the goal of life. This alone is a goal. What is the goal? Ishta purte. That's a dual. Ishtam cha purtam cha iti ishta purte. These two, ishta and purta. I will explain. These are the technical terms used in Veda. It is for type of karma. They believe these are the karmas which are the ultimate goal of life. This is the most exalted thing. This is the vision of their life. And nothing else can be the goal of life other than this. Ishta purte manyamana varishta. Nanyat shreyaha iti vedayante pramudhaha. These are the people, they do not know any other means. And a pramudhaha. Pramudhaha means prakarshena mudaha. There is very well deluded. I will explain that now. Delusion beyond resolution, you can say. Delusion beyond consideration. That is the thinking. And what happens to them? Nakasya prushte sukritenu bhutva. Sukritam means punya karma phalam. The result of the good deeds, results of contributory deeds, anubhutva, having experienced that, having enjoyed that, having had that pleasures born out of the result of the punya that they have earned by performing certain contributory deeds. Where? Nakasya prushte. I will explain the word nakasya. Naka means heaven, not Gujarati nak, okay? In Gujarati, naka means nose. Nakasya prushte, behind the nose. They experience the heavenly pleasure. Behind the nose experience. Nowadays, if you tell, behind the nose you have a pleasures, that means I am saved from corona. That is a pleasure. Because it enters from here, you know. Corona. That day this fellow said very nicely, Ratan Tata said, okay, to survive in this pandemic situation itself is the greatest profit. Whether a company makes profit or not, it may run into losses, but the losses are in a measured quantity that I can survive. That itself is a profit. So that I don't get corona, that itself is heavenly pleasure. Having read the stories of people who suffered and hospitalized. This is Gujarati-tized translation of Sanskrit. Okay? Nakasya prushte. It's in the heaven. Having enjoyed those heavenly pleasures, having experienced those heavenly and beyond heavenly pleasures, imam lokam, this loka, or hinataram lokam, or loka lower than this, vishanti, they enter into this loka. Okay? Either this loka or anything lower than this loka. They enter. Okay. Now, what is Ishtapurtam? So the whole translation means those who are pramuda, very well deluded, they consider this Ishtapurta karma as the ultimate, as the most exalted, as the goal, that is the vision of life. And there is nothing other than that which can give you moksha. And they fellows, having performed this Ishtapurta karma, which is punya karma, having experienced the heavenly joys, heavenly pleasures, they come back or enter into where? Imam va hinataram lokam. They enter back into this loka or lower loka. What is Ishta and what is Purta? Ishta means Vedic karmas. Certain voluntary contributory actions mentioned in the Veda. Compulsory contributory actions are called duties. Kartavya karmani. They are called nitya karmas. What we saw earlier. Yasya agnihotram adarsha paurnamasam achaturmasyam anagrahanam atithivarjitam cha. There we have seen that in the second, third mantra. The daily rituals, daily things to be done, that is enjoined. But that is compulsory, mandatory, according to Varna and Ashrama. We'll talk about that in the next mantra. But here, these are all voluntary, contributory actions. Should you have extra resources, you can do these karmas. What are the Ishta karma? Agnihotram tapassatyam Vedanam chanupalanam Atithyam Vaishwadevam cha Ishtam ityavidiyate. What it is says, Agnihotram tapassatyam Vedanam chanupalanam. Agnihotram, you perform this Agnihotra, then tapas, adhere to Vedic religious discipline. Then what? Satyam. Satyam is what? Arjavam. Living a life of alignment. What is there in your mind is there in your speech, and what is there in your speech, that is there in your action. Manasi ekam, vachasa ekam, karmanam ekam. There is an alignment between thoughts, speech, and deeds. That can be possible only when you take everything seriously. Not like modern relationship, modern etiquettes. Oh, your house is so beautiful. It's so nice. You praise the person, and having gone out, these two fellows talk all negative about the house. What a gaudy it was, and how shabby it was, and blah, blah, blah. No. Rujutva, sameness of thought, words, and deeds. That is Satyam. Speaking truth is Satyam, all right, but that Satyam includes these also.
Hello,
जी हरिओम स्वामी जी.
can you see me?
Yes, स्वामी जी.
See, speaking truth implies a togetherness of a person. And not speaking truth or telling lie implies a splinter personality. Because as I was mentioning, the one who knows, the same person does. The gnata is karta, and karta is bhokta. There are not two persons within. But when I tell a lie, or when I don't have alignment between my thoughts and the deeds, I'm creating a split between the knower and the doer. It looks very insignificant split, one lie. But that, when it is done daily, then the split becomes wider and wider. Exactly like some trees I have seen, when there is extended roof, and the tree touching the roof, you see that it doesn't do anything. But daily it exercises, exert little pressure, and break the seal. So also the person becomes splinter. So Satya means togetherness. So what is Agnihotram tapas satyam Vedanam cha anupalanam? Committing to Vedic way of life, committing to Vedic karmas, committing to Vedic injunctions. Atithyam Vaishwadevam cha, perform Vishwadeva Yagna, and general attitude of welcoming the guest with respect. That is called Ishtakarma. So one who is Ishtapurtam Manyamana Varishtam. Let us see Purta. Vapi Kupatadagati. Vapi means reservoirs of water of all kinds, wells, etc. Tadaga. Tadaga means lake, small lake or small pond. So those days, when there were no technology to bring out underground water, they had to depend on the rainwater and store them. So the village, every village had a village pond. And every village took water from that pond. Or they have wells. And they used to bring the water from the well. And the electricity also was not there and bore wells were also not there. So any kind of water reservoir, because water is a basic requirement. Vapi Kupatadagadi Devata Ayatananich. Building temples, abode of Bhagavan. Anna Pradana Aramas. Anna Pradhanam, giving food, feeding people, or giving food grains. Anna Pradhana Aramascha. Aramascha means building chowtries, building accommodation, dharmashalas. Free, offering free accommodations. Purtam ityabhidhiyate. This is called Purta Karma. Okay? Purta. So, what is this? Ishta Purte Manyamana Varishtam. They consider, you can say, good actions. These contributory actions as what? Varishtam Manyamana. They are the most exalted. That's what they think. And Nanyat Shreya. There is nothing, no other means for moksha. That means this alone is a means for moksha. In a modern context, you can extend this Purta Karmas. The meaning of the Purta Karmas can be extended, can be more encompassing meaning. Any act of charity, situational charity, situational help to the society in general, they all called contributory, voluntary contributory actions can be called as Purta Karma. Like in this COVID, here people do this in they build hospitals in the memory of such and such person. They sponsor fees for the education. That is also Purta Karma. Somebody leaves a big amount as a corpus and the scholarship is given to students. That is a Purta Karma. Here people build aram accommodations and give food to the patient's relative in government hospitals. They give free food or subsidized food. These all kinds of karmas can be called as Purta Karma. When they say there is no other means of moksha, and this is the ultimate meaning thereby, they think this alone is a means of moksha. Commonly used in India, this statement, Nara Seva hi Narayana Seva. Serving the humanity is service to the Lord. People have, I move around in the society, I come across the types of the projects. That's why I would like to share this. India as a country, or you can say Hindus are committed to charity. They are given to charity. True, the percentages looks like dwindling as on today. But in general, society has a commitment to give. Society has a commitment to share, to serve, seva. I mean, these people have this value that yatra in one of the tapas, they do pilgrimage. And nowhere in the world you've seen this pilgrimage. People go for pilgrimage. They go to Jerusalem or Makkah or Medina, etc. But to go walking or to go barefoot, all kinds of vows they have. Barefooted they go to pilgrimage. And the most famous is this Kavad Yatra or Amarnath Yatra or all these yatras in monsoon season, people do all pilgrimage. On the road, you will find people providing tea, coffee, snacks and biscuits and glucose and people will do massage. They will call you, hey, come here and I want to give you an opportunity to massage your feet. Not only food they give, but they massage the person, the feet. They provide beds on the road, all kinds of stuff. People give shoes to poor people. In winter, they give blankets to poor people. So they are supported. That any kind of charity, that is the thing to be done. Naraseva is Narayan Seva. That means you don't do anything else. This is this. And there is a Vakya also. Seva Paramo Dharma. Seva is my religion. And in one of these sampradayas here in Gujarat, they say, having become a sadhu, we have to serve the society. Nowadays, this value is picking up in India, and they think if we have to do seva only, committing only to studies and institution or committed only to teaching and all that is not given that much weightage as the institutions who are committed to different seva projects. That's how the thinking is evolving slowly. Too much emphasis on seva is being given. Please note here, we are not, or Shruti is not criticizing the seva. Shruti is not dismissing Ishtapurdaka. They are glorified in the Shastra, and so Shruti glorifies them. And they are glorified in our Puranas, in our Ityasas, etc. Just hold on, I'll change the comment. I'm living from Shastra is not dismissing or disrespecting this attitude to give, this attitude to serve. It is respected. Anybody serving is a respectable person. But two things one should know. As long as there is a karta, this sevakaha, one who is doing seva, will not gain moksha. Kartrutvam being there, he or she will accrue karma phalas and continue the cycle of birth and death. What teacher is telling is, you cannot gain moksha by simply performing karmas. These karmas can be instrumental as a secondary means for moksha, provided you choose moksha. Remember that. Provided you have certain attitude born out of certain understanding. Otherwise, it is a karma of any type, will get you another bondage, that's all. What do I mean by certain attitude? What do I mean by you have to choose moksha? This karma, whether mandatory or enjoined karma by Vedas or voluntary, it can be indirect means for moksha only when you choose moksha. Means what? When you perform these karmas with an attitude of Ishwararpana buddhi. You perform these karmas as... There is some problem here. Take it away. Certain karma with certain attitude. And that attitude becomes important in gaining antahkarana shuddhi. And that pure mind is a qualified or ready mind, adhikari mind for moksha. But that attitude is, one commits to that attitude only when one is committed to moksha. One sees the need of this attitude. What's the best benefit of this attitude? So, these karmas are not looked down, but in itself or by themselves, these karmas are not the means for moksha. On the contrary, sometimes they can be means for further bondage. This can give rise to very subtle ego also. I am a great donor. And then society helps the person to bloat the ego. They always have some functions for donors, special donors. They glorify the donors. They give them some special name and fame. They praise the donors whenever there is a function. So that gives rise to very subtle ego on the part of donor. And I still remember Swamiji didn't like this word charity and donor and seva. What he said was so true those days, that you are not donating anything. Okay? You can donate something if belongs to you. There is a common statement, a very famous seva program here is blood donation camp. And they say we donate blood. There is blood donors club, and certificate is also given. Such and such a person has donated blood for so many days. You cannot. What do you donate? You cannot donate now, sitting over there. Hey, Swamiji, you meet another Swami in, say, Canada or US or wherever you are. and say, I am donating to you an ashram. Where is it? In India. Where? Rajkot. What? Ashvidya Mandir is donated to you. You cannot donate that, nor I can donate your house where you live, because it doesn't belong to me. If I am a sole owner of a thing, then only I can donate. If I am a sole creator of a thing, then only I donate. I am not the sole author of my blood. Stomach works because Bhagavan makes it work. Bhagavan grows the fruits and vegetables and cereals and pulses and everything, and I just dump it down. What a processing house it is. Look at this. In every processing house, the finished product will be true to the raw material. In a processing house with the yarns they put it, then it will be cotton cloth. That's all will come out. It cannot be terracotta coming out of cotton. But look at this Bhagavan Srishti, Bhagavat Krupa. In this processes house, we are literally dumping. And some people who eat, they are dumping garbage, This bhel puri, pani puri, dabeli on the streets. They are dumping garbage of different colors and different texture and different contents. You eat cauliflower and ladies' fingers and potatoes and chapatis and theplas and bhakaris and rotlas, and you eat, dal and then typical sweet mango juice. We could juice, every house will get now. Mango juice, and some people eat onion and garlic, all different colors. What a Sarva Shaktiman Ishvara. You dump in the stomach. It is processed and you have a blood. And all necessary required ingredients are taken out and dissolving, and unwarranted are thrown out. What a processing house. You don't create a blood. You are given blood. And it is given for it is a functional gift. You have it now for the time being. It is like somebody gives me a first-class ticket in an international flight. So I say, where is my seat? Or air hostess will come, business class, sir, this is your seat. Will come and escort me. This is your seat. That word your is functional. I don't own it. They give me bedding and few things to eat and to read, and these are to be returned. I cannot put it in my bag and carry home with the bedding. I like bedding, it's good. Bedsheet and pillow, it was exactly I wanted, and I'm taking it because it was mine. It's a functional possession. You don't own it. Similarly, this blood is yours, is functional. There is no blood donation. You can say it is only blood sharing. Some person have a good spouse who sucks their blood, So that is a blood sharing education, that you have to share your blood with at least with the spouse. Take it positively if you have that spouse, partner like that. Anyway, so you cannot donate anything. Body doesn't belong to you. You don't own the body. It's a question of donating the organs of the body. It's not yours. So that being a case, since I am a receiver for survival, even seva word, I take seva from nth number of resources and jivas and people for my survival. Even the oxygen that I breathe in, I don't know which bird, which tree exhaled that oxygen and inhaled my carbon dioxide. I don't know. Millions of trees might be contributing for my breathing, for my surviving. Number of plants, etc. So I am taking seva. More seva than I can do seva. But still, for a want of better word, you can say we do seva. But this seva should become a means for moksha only when you do seva in the awareness of Ishvara. God gave me the opportunity to share. I am gifted with the resources which are extra for me. Some people have extra resources for 7 generations also. Can't share, can't give. Whatever I have is because of others. And what I can do for others is just sharing. But to share with an attitude means in the awareness of Ishvara that, oh God, you gave me this opportunity to serve somebody, to do some seva. That is your grace. And I serve you, oh Lord, ultimately. So when it is done with Ishvararpana Buddhi, then this Ishtapurta karma becomes means for moksha, not otherwise. So many people do seva. But I see sometimes absence of this attitude. I am not at all obliging the other person. I am being obliged by Bhagavan, ultimately. That he got me the right person whom I can serve. He gave me the resources to serve and gave me this attitude. Then that's a grace, because then my antakarana becomes shuddham. So is this what Shruti is talking here is, or sort of censure of those people, because when Shruti says, Pramudah, why? Those who perform these karmas without proper attitude. And with proper attitude, Ishvara arpitam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. So it becomes a means for moksha. Understand? So they are means for antakarana shuddhi if it is performed with yoga attitude. And having gained antakarana shuddhi, you gain possibility of moksha. In fact, antakarana shuddhi itself gives rise to desire for moksha. Fact that one has a desire for moksha, that means some relative antakarana shuddhi is there. It may be like a fancy, not considered or the desire. It may be just curiosity. Maybe just interest. Oh, I like to listen to this Swami. I enjoy it. Swami is not talking to enjoy him. Swami is talking to enjoy yourself. But people say, I enjoy that Swami. And they give a compliment. Swamiji, you make very good jokes. That itself is the worst joke for a Swami. To hear that on the face of it. Somebody tells you are a good joke maker. No. Anyway. coming back to this, the karma performed with this attitude of Ishwararpana becomes a means for dukkha. That is a point. Without it, it is only punya karma, and what happens to them? Nakasya prushte sukritenu bhutva. In Sanskrit, kam means sukham. Akam means opposite of sukham, that is dukkham. And na akam, that is nakam. Okay? That means absence, relative absence of dukkha. Kam, akam, nak, double negative. Kam sukham, akam means absence of sukham, means dukkham. An absence or there is no dukkham is nakam. That means relatively sukham. All the time happy. Nakasya prushte. That means heaven. In the middle of the heaven. Means those lokas where they get divine pleasures. Heavenly pleasures are available. Nakasya prushte. A place relatively free from dukkha. Okay? Our Shastra describes it very well compared to other religion. It says, na tatratvam na jaraya bibheti ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipashe shokatigo modate swargal. Swargaloke, you are beyond from shoka. Grief is not. Physical problems are not. There is no old age. It's the greatest advantage. If there is no old age, that means there is no vikara. And that means Swamiji would say, you are born young, straight. And he, in his typical style, he would say, the fellow is born with shaving set, born with mustache, is ready to shave very next day. He is born like that. Anyway, so this person there is no physical hunger and thirst is not. So pain of hunger and thirst. Everything is available in abundance. And so you have it. Ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipase shokatigo modate swarga. So, nakasya prushte means heaven, in the middle of the heaven, or those lokas like heaven. Sukrutenu bhutva, having experienced, having gained the pleasures of these varieties of experiences, varieties of dukkham. And they, enjoying that, imam heenataram va lokam shanti. They enter back to this loka, or heenataram. Why? Here also, there are certain birds where there is a predominant dukkha, yonis. In certain birds where there is a predominant sukha. To be born as animal is a dukkha. They don't have kriya shakti. Not much ichha shakti. So even basic requirements they cannot fulfill by themselves. It is a hinataram. Means that kind of birth which involves more displeasure. That kind of birth which involves more discomfort. That is what they come back. Whether they come back to Mother Earth here itself, or they may go to some Divya Lokas. Not Divya Loka, Hina Taram, lower fields Lokas. Lower Lokas means lower fields of experiences. The Lokas where they have to experience dukkha, predominantly dukkha. They go there and thereby continue the cycle of birth and death. Means continue the cycle of fire and frying pan to fire. One dukkha to another dukkha to a third one. It goes on. Why? Because they have not gained moksha. Since what is moksha? Discovering that I am akarta, abhukta. That kartrutvam is there, bhuktutvam also will be there. In other words, the beggar will be there all the time, seeking one thing or other. That means always doing karmas and involving punya papa. The cycle goes on. We'll talk about this something further next week and take up the next mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari